Hi, I'm Jerome, resident expert at LTASEX.info. Welcome to Let's Talk About Sex, the show where we talk about sex. And today I'm here with the now world famous transsexual porn star, Tiffany Starr. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing great.
I'm so happy to have you on the show today. If you don't know, she's one of the sexiest ones out there. I've been sort of following her career for a little bit. Um,
Oh.
Can you, before we get started, can you just tell everyone why you're so awesome?
Well, I am relatable. I'm not like a catty porn star. I love to talk to my fans. They talk to me all the time. I even actually just got off playing with a fan of mine on a video game through
Awesome.
PlayStation 4, so that was fun. And I like a lot of the stuff I do. I do a lot of geeky things, and a lot of guys and girls like that. And I also like that someone, like, all my work reaches like throughout the world. Like this year, the Vatican City was caught downloading some of my scenes, and
Hey,
that was pretty.
you have been sanctified now.
Yeah, I'm like a God's porn star.
You should feel honored.
I do. It was actually, I did feel honored, but I even offered a free DVD for the guy that downloaded it, but obviously he didn't step up and claim the prize.
You should have. Get it signed and everything.
Well, for all I know, it was like an archbishop, so he probably didn't want.
For people to know, I'm sure. But now you said you had just gotten off playing what game?
I was actually playing Killzone Shadowfall.
Oh my. I haven't gotten into Killzone for some reason. I did recently get into like Call of Duty for some reason. But
I have that too. I've actually played that yesterday. I've just taken short breaks from that because I'm playing on Veteran, which is like the hardest mode where like 3 bullets kill you. So I have to beat one level and put it down so I don't go crazy.
I had gotten Black Ops, the original Black Ops, from a friend of mine, and we started playing the zombie whatever thing.
Oh, the zombie mode. Oh yeah, we are like the presidents, right?
It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And then we got Black Ops 2, and then we were going to play whatever the newest one is, but it turned out to be terrible. So yeah, it turned out to be terrible. So I didn't really like it. But do you like it?
I actually like. I like it. It's a little short. Some of the missions seem a little paced weirdly, I guess.
Okay.
But for the most part, I liked it. It was just too short. Like, there's 2 companies that make Call of Duty games. There's Treyarch and there's Infinity Ward, and I like Infinity Ward, and I hate Treyarch, so I usually skip a year because they switch years developing. So I usually get all the Infinity Ward Call of Duties, and I wait till later to try out the other ones because I'm not a big fan of how they make theirs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's totally bad. I never been an FPS person before. I'm actually not. I've been gaming my whole life, but I don't feel like I'm a gamer really.
That makes sense. There's a lot of people I know that like to play games, but they only like to play certain games. Like, I'll play almost anything except like sports and realistic racing. I don't like sports games. I find them boring, and I suck at realistic.
So boring.
Huh?
They are so boring.
Oh yeah, they come out with one every year. Like, they come out with like NHL 08, and then next year it's 09, then 10, and I'm like, what are you changing that it's so different?
Exactly. Why is it $60 more? Like, I don't understand. Like, you've been making essentially a refab of the same game.
Yeah, they're just rehashing the same stuff, and you know what? It sells because there's guys out there who are like, oh, I gotta get some sports stuff to be manly.
I don't know. I would rather play like Ratchet and Clank or something like that.
Oh my God! Look at this.
Oh my gosh! I love you right now. That was so cute.
That's my favorite video game series. I have every single one.
Oh my gosh! I was just tempting myself away from the latest PS3 release. I was gonna buy it on Amazon, but I was like, no. You don't need it. You literally just bought like 5 Crash Bandicoot vintage games.
It's at a discount price though. It's shorter, but it's a nice game.
Yeah. What was the one I just played? Duo. It was the pair. All for One. I think that's what it's called.
Oh, Ratchet and Clank All for One.
All for One, yeah. I played that, and that was actually stellar. It was like both visually stellar and comedically hilarious.
Oh yeah, Captain Quark's the best.
I loved. By the end of the game, I was like, if she calls me an interloper one more time, I'll be so mad. But yeah, when did you start playing games?
Oh, actually, I have my grandfather to thank for that. When I was young, I want to say like around the original Nintendo release. I don't remember how old I was when that came out. I was probably like around 5, 6, 7. I was pretty young, and my grandfather used to rent movies every single week. You know, when people used to rent movies at the stores.
Yeah, when that was a thing people did.
Yeah, and you know, they had a game section, so he always went to get one, and he dragged me, and I could pick out like a Nintendo game or a Super Nintendo game, and it just went on like that for a few years, and I just got into gaming, which actually I could probably contribute that to keeping me out of trouble. I don't do drugs, you know, I don't smoke, I don't have any real bad habits, and it's probably because I went with games.
None at all?
So...
You don't have any bad habits at all?
Besides being kind of a slut.
Well, that's a good habit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have a lot of sex, but
yeah, I'm like from one slut to another. That is perfectly fine.
Okay, good. I'm glad you agree then. Other than that, no, I don't think I have any bad habits.
Okay. Now, since we're talking about video gaming, why not stay there for a minute? Especially since we just got all these new consoles coming out now, right? We got the Wii U, that was first, which is not really a factor. Yeah, I played Injustice over my friend's house, and I was just like, what is this? What is this giant thing I'm holding? I feel like I'm holding
like a tablet.
Yeah, it's like a fat iPad. Like, what is that?
I'll tell you what it is, a waste of battery life.
It is.
It only lasts like 2 hours.
And then now we have, of course, Xbox One and PS3. Have you?
PS4.
Oh, PS4. I'm sorry. I have PS3.
I correct you because I love my PS4. It's right over there.
I was just about to ask. That was my next question. Did you plunk down on one?
I have one, and I also have an Xbox One.
Oh, so you have both?
Yeah. Well, the Xbox One's belongs to someone I'm dating, but I essentially use it, but not as much as my PS4.
Okay. Are you a fangirl in any camp?
I like all of them. If I had to swing one way out of the 3, I'd say Sony, just because they have more first-party studios, and they come out with some of the best exclusive games.
Absolutely.
And one of their exclusive games happens to be
Ratchet and Clank.
which is my favorite series.
Right.
So.
And you know what's funny? When I first started seeing Ratchet and Clank, when I think it was PS2, I immediately thought that it was like a successor to Crash Bandicoot, which is what I really started gaming with when I was younger. I got the PS1 the year it came out, and I got Crash Bandicoot, and I think it was Cool Borders, I think was the other one.
Yeah, the snowboarding game, right?
Yes, I got both of those, and that was my Christmas present that year.
My first PlayStation game was Spyro the Dragon and Frogger.
Yes. I remember I used to subscribe to PlayStation Underground.
The magazine?
Yes, their little digital CD magazine.
They come with the games, right?
Exactly. It had demos and trailers and stuff. I remember playing Frogger on that. I don't think I ever owned the game, but I played that demo a million times.
I had to kind of warm up to Frogger because Spyro was so fun that I'm like, I don't really want to touch Frogger. But after I played Spyro to death, I actually got pretty far on Frogger, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah. What was the other game that we played? It was Battle Arena Toshinden. It was a fighting game. Yeah, it was. I played that recently. And when I say recently, I mean like 2 years ago. But That game still holds up. It's pretty good.
There's some games that still hold up. There's some that don't, but I mean, look at a lot of the PS1 Final Fantasy games. Those still hold up really well. Like Final Fantasy IX is really great, and I mean that's like how many generations from now since like the 8th generation of gaming just started?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Are you? Now we kind of dogged Nintendo for a second, which I feel like I should go back because I still have my love for my Game Boy. And if you try to bring it in a game of Mario Kart, I will destroy you. But
I suck at Mario Kart.
But what are some of your Nintendo faves?
Everyone's favorite, which it's hard not to like the series, is Zelda. There's great Zelda games. I like Mario, like especially. I thought Mario was kind of going downhill when the GameCube was out because they had Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, well, it kind of did that generation though.
Yeah, I mean that specific game kind of, I lost my lust for Mario. But then the Wii came out and they came out with Super Mario Galaxy, and that game was awesome.
That game was absolutely awesome.
So I've been like a huge fan of Mario. It's almost like I fell in love with it again because it's like. Super Mario 64 on the N64, I love that. Then the disappointing GameCube sequel, and then a really great game. So Mario and Zelda are probably my favorites. I like all the other ones a lot too. Like Donkey Kong Country is really good. And
Did you play Diddy Kong Racing on N64?
Yeah, and I was terrible at it.
I was always good at the playful racing games. I'm good at the Little Big Planet, I'm good at Mario Kart, I'm good at Diddy Kong Racing. But if you get me on a Forza or a Gran Turismo, it's
no, I'm terrible.
It's done.
I can't do realistic racing. Like I can do Burnout because you get rewarded for smashing into stuff.
Which is so much fun.
Yeah, I don't want to drive normal. That's what I do in my everyday life. I want to smash into things and get rewarded for it, not my car insurance jacked up.
Now, you said your Xbox One, that's somebody's you're dating. Are they also a big gamer?
They game, yeah. I would say they're pretty big. Not as big as me. Like my collection I'm looking around right now, is ridiculously big, and some people might say I have a problem. But
those
like
people
seriously, if I sold all my games, I could probably get a vagina. But I just love my collection, so I don't want to get rid of it. So, a big gamer, but not as big as me.
Do you find yourself tending to steer towards gamers or geekier people in your dating life in general?
I'd prefer to. I've dated girls that have no interest in anything geeky at all, which big mistake.
Yeah.
I've dated some that are really geeky, and those are the best relationships I've been in.
Obviously, you can bone while playing. I don't know, something.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that when I date people, I try to find people that have at least a majority of interests that are similar. They don't have to be completely like me, otherwise that's boring. It'd be like fucking myself, which I do for cam shows all the time. So, I would say, they'd have to be somewhat geeky.
What are some of the other things you look for in somebody you're dating? I mean, when we see people in porn, we never think about them being romantic, but of course, you're a normal person, so of course you have to have. Yeah, I mean,
I get emails all the time that people just assume just because I do porn, I'm always raring for sex. But I do like the wine and dine kind of romance stuff. I like going out to eat. If I'm on a date and we go somewhere nice and there's no candles on the table, I complain. I'm like, there should be candles here. It's not romantic. I don't know. It's just me. I'm not a wine drinker, but I guess that can be romantic. And I like going home and having like sensual sex, not just the rough stuff I usually do on videos. Actually, I've done some pretty nice soft video kind of stuff, but mostly I get paid for the hard stuff. So I like to like tone it down when I'm off camera. I don't have to do certain positions that look good. I can have sex the way I want to have sex. I like a little romance. I like doing little things that turn my partner on, taking our time, not having to meet a deadline or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. Are you, so I would assume that you would prefer sex off camera? Is that?
Not that I don't like the sex on the camera. I do. I've gotten some pretty hot people to have sex with. It really depends. You can give me like someone incredibly attractive to have sex with on cam with good chemistry, but if the room's hot or like you put me in an awkward position, then even something that should be great sex is like turns out to be terrible. Like I won't say what scene, but for one scene, there was a girl up on something high, and I had to fuck her while standing on tippy toes and heels, and the whole time. And it should have been a really hot scene, and it did turn out really well, but a lot of it was really good acting because my feet were killing me.
That's porn magic.
Oh yeah. Well, you didn't see my feet rocking like this. It was above my knees, but they were in pain. But it's what I do for good work.
Hey, we appreciate a professional in your line of work. So that particular scene was a bit awkward. But what have been maybe some of your highlights of your time in the porn industry?
Highlights? I like being nominated for awards, getting awards, because that shows that people are watching and enjoy my work. I like when people message me and say I love you in this scene and that scene. I love feedback. I like shooting with certain people. I made a lot of friends. Those are my real highlights.
Who have been some of the people that you enjoy working with the most? Like, what were some of your most fun scenes to shoot?
Well, my friend Serena Valentina, me and her are pretty close, so I like shooting with her. I like shooting with my friend Foxy because she's a good friend.
TS Foxy?
Yeah.
I interviewed her earlier this year.
Huh?
I interviewed her earlier this year.
Oh yeah, she's everywhere. She travels way more than I do, but and I don't see her as often as I'd like to. But I like shooting with her. I wish I could do it again, maybe soon. Actually, the person I'm currently dating, I met in LA and has done a shoot with me. Her name's Audrina, or Addie Rose is a porn name.
Okay.
And I've shot with this one guy named Gio, who's like a male talent. He's like a super nice guy, and he's really handsome too. Like, he looks like one of those Abercrombie models where he has like the perfect full head of hair, and he's not hairy all over the place, and he has like muscles. You know, can throw me on the bed. That was pretty hot. So I like working with him. He's really good, and he always hits my spot, which is great whenever I have a scene. It's terrible when you work with a guy and you know he's huge and he goes in and it's just not enjoyable because he's not hitting your spot.
It's not all about size. It's a lot about talent.
Yes.
Yes.
I've been lucky enough to get guys that hit my spot most of the time, but I really like Gio. He's really good. There's a couple other guys as well.
Trying to figure out how to word my next question. Give me a moment. We'll cut this part out, obviously.
It's okay, I'll just play with my boobs.
Boobs. Okay, so other than video games, do you have any other geeky interests at all? Other than putting toys in your boobs?
Oh, yeah. Ratchet loves my cleavage. No, I have plenty of hobbies. Also geeky. Well, not all of them. For the geeky ones, you know, I like to play Magic the Gathering, which is very geeky. I like playing D&D, Pathfinder stuff, which is also fairly geeky. And I like to go to conventions like video game and anime and cosplay, so I dress up as some of the characters from various games, movies, shows, and that's a lot of fun because I get to make costumes and stuff. So I guess.
Do you go to like Comic-Con and all that?
I wanted to go this year and I did not. I will probably hit next year. I'm actually torn because in April they have Anime Boston, which I'm going to,
Okay.
but at the same time they're having a video game convention, so do I go to the video game one or the anime one? So
why not both?
they're all the same weekend and they're both very expensive. So it's like you can spend $60 to go to this one for 3 days, or $60 for this one, or you can pay $120 and just go back and forth.
I mean, I know there was one time down here we had a festival downtown, and then we had a like a sex exotic workshop thing that was like a 3-day weekend experience that I really wanted to go to, and it was so difficult for me. Although obviously I went for the sex one because that's what's most important.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Which, back to hobbies, this is another one of my hobbies. I go to a lot of like swinger clubs and swinger parties and stuff like that.
So you consider yourself a swinger?
Not particularly. Like, I don't go there with like a couple. Sometimes I go there with friends or something, and then I just partake of some of the beautiful people there.
That's fair.
And it's not like it's difficult for me to get anyone at the party to have sex with me. You know?
Wow.
I just go around and I'm like, oh, I'm so horny. And then they're like, just people come over and they're like, yeah, you want to come with us? So I do that every so often. I also like to go hiking. I work out almost every day. I like to travel, but that's part of my job, so I don't know if that's so much a hobby. So.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
What was that?
That was my stupid phone.
Oh, it sounded like somebody was moaning, and I was like, why is somebody having sex in my ear?
No. It's I put it on vibrate, and no, I put it on silent, but there's no like complete silent mode. It'll stop it from ringing, but whenever I get a text or a notification, it goes bzzz. So I can hide it under the bed or something if you want. I told them to leave me alone for an hour. I'm like, I'm doing an interview. Leave me alone.
So, you're a geek. You're a porn star. Great boobs. But what else? What else is there to Tiffany Starr? What is something that people might not know about you?
People not know about me? I think the swinger thing might be one thing.
Do you consider yourself non-monogamous? Yeah, I know you say you don't necessarily consider yourself a swinger, but are you non-monogamous? Are you poly?
No, I'm actually just so laid back that I can go either way. If I'm dating someone and they want to be monogamous, it's like, okay, I'll just date you. If I'm dating someone and they want to be open, I'm fine with that too. I'm just laid back. It's not a huge deal for me. It just depends if I trust the person I'm dating enough to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, trust obviously is the most important thing in any relationship.
I mean, being open and going to parties is different from you sleeping around with everyone without telling me.
Yeah, there's a difference between like, having an open relationship and an open relationship where it's only open on one side.
Yeah.
Like, if we're gonna do this, we need to be able to have open communication.
Exactly. And to be fair, most of the relationships I've had have been mainly monogamous. Sometimes, like with the girl I'm dating now, sometimes we bring home other people from clubs and play with them. But once they're out, they're more like, sex toys for the night than, part of a relationship. So that's how I, consider it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what do you think makes a good relationship?
There's a lot of things I think that make a good relationship. Trust is one. Commitment, I think, is another. I also think a good sex life helps as well.
Obviously, good sex life helps.
Yeah. So I think those three things are probably the highest on my list. You know, you got to be dedicated to your relationship.
Are you into like cars at all?
No. I'm just because I do play games, but I'm for the most part, like, I know there's plenty of girls that play games, but it's not considered a girly thing. I'm mostly a girly girl. Like, other than games, I don't really like cars. I don't do sports. I guess I don't listen to the typical girly girl music that a lot of those straight girls tend to listen to, or whatever the stereotype is. You know the stereotype that they all listen to, like, poppy, Lady Gaga kind of blah.
I love Lady Gaga, so don't be hating.
No, I'm not saying anything bad about Lady Gaga. I'm just saying most people assume that I would like, music by artists like that.
Who do you actually listen to?
I listen to a lot of, like, rock and metal, which I guess you can blame on my dad because, I just listened to a lot of that in my high school years, and it just stuck to me.
Who are some of, like, your favorite artists?
Well, I like some of the classic ones like Metallica and Ozzy Osbourne. I like some like power metal stuff like Dragon Force, and there's Hammerfall, and there's Cryonic Temple, and probably a bunch of bands you guys don't know. But yeah, I would suggest listening to them if you like rock and metal. If you like Lady Gaga, strictly that kind of music, I wouldn't go listen to Dragon Force.
I'm pretty sure, while I have no idea who that is, while I don't specifically listen to pop, like I don't specifically listen to it, like hard rock and metal, for some reason, it's just a bit too, like, much for me in my head. But, like, I'm sure that somebody out there knows exactly what you're talking about, and they're just sitting at home like, oh my god, I'm in love.
Well, I love dance music and stuff like that, but only when I'm, dancing. Yeah. Like, I want to be, if I'm listening to dance music, I want to be able to dance. But in, like, my car, or if I'm just relaxing at home, I listen to, like, rock and metal, which, yeah, I can kind of understand. There's some rock out there that can be a bit much, but I kind of like that.
Yeah. I think it's weird, and I know this does not really count as rock, but, like, during my high school years, like everybody else in that time frame of, like, 2001 to 2005, I was super big into, like, all the Fall Out Boys and the Paramours and all that crap. And it's weird because even now I go back and I'm like, that actually wasn't so bad.
I guess that can be considered like punk rock or something, but it's not the kind of rock I listen to.
Yeah, no. I wish I could get more into like classic rock, because it has a lot of bluesy, R&B, soul-ish influences in there.
Exactly.
And I find a lot of that to be really intriguing. I think the first song that I heard where I started to, like, piece that together was "Smoke on the Water."
Yeah, that's a Deep Purple song.
Yeah, with
so many people remade that song. It's ridiculous.
That riff is like, that is so funky. Like that feels like a riff that should be in like a 70s, like, I don't know, funk band. Like, you should have some saxophone in there somewhere.
A lot of the I do like a lot of classic rock, but a lot of the, like, rock and metal I actually like uses other different ignore me, tongue-tied, uses a lot of different instruments. Like, there's some that use piano and keyboard, there's some that use xylophones and all sorts of crazy instruments you don't really hear a lot in, like, rock and metal. And it's like a specific kind of metal. It's like fantasy metal. It's called heavy mithril. They think it's funny.
I think I've heard of that. I think some of my friends who are into League of Legends listen to that.
Yeah, well, I'm geeky, so I guess that makes sense.
It makes sense, of course. Do you play LOL?
Do I what?
Or WoW? Do you play LOL or WoW?
No, I actually hate World of Warcraft.
Oh my gosh. What? Those are some harsh words. What's wrong with World of Warcraft?
Besides it being dull and boring, and it's more of a giant chat room than an actual game.
Yeah, okay, yes. those are all very valid points.
When the game first came out, I actually lost 2 friends of mine because they would do nothing but play that. And they played that for about 2 years straight. And they lost most of their friends because they wouldn't, they would skip out going to a huge party with almost certain probability of getting laid by hot chicks to go on raids in World of Warcraft.
Because that's way more fun?
It's because they're stupid.
It is always better to actually go out and meet people in real life.
I mean, I only play games when there's nothing else to do. Like, if it's late at night, I did everything I had to do today, I don't feel like going to a club or going out, I'll stay home and play a game.
It's the same thing you do with like watching movies or listening to a CD. Like it's supposed to be just something you do for fun or something you do with people, not something that separates you.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like I said, even when I was playing games like an hour ago, I was playing online with a friend of mine. So, I mean, you can still be social in game, but
of course,
I was only playing that while I was waiting to do the interview. So it just goes to show, again, I do it when I have nothing to do.
Do you frequently play with like people online?
It depends. I like single player games a lot, but there are times where I enjoy multiplayer. Like I beat Call of Duty Ghosts on single player. I'm going through it again on veteran, but since I already experienced the single player, I hop online once in a while and get my butt kicked and kick some butt.
So we're coming up here we're rounding out, towards the end of the show now.
Well, we've been talking for a while, huh?
I know.
It doesn't seem like it. We've just been talking about games.
Well, that's kind of the point, right? Like, yeah. So before we head out, I just sort of wanted to talk to you a bit more about you and your experiences, perhaps. Like, can you tell me a bit about how you got into porn and what the experience has been like for you?
Yeah, that's something we can talk about. I differ from a lot of the girls in porn as to why I got into porn. A lot of them got into porn for money, which for surgeries or just to blow on whatever they want. Some of them got in for like fame. They wanted to get famous and be everywhere and win awards. I actually got into it because I had a series of bad events happen to me that kind of drove me towards doing that. And it was supposed to be temporary, but I had a good time when I did it, and they liked me. I was well received. They wanted to sign a contract and have me part of a site, and I had my own site set up, and it's just I've been in it since. But I'm still going to school, so hopefully once I'm done school, I can do both jobs.
What are you studying?
Oh, I'm studying business administration.
What are you going to do with that?
To be honest with you, I do not know yet.
Isn't that the way it usually goes?
Well, I have a couple ideas. I'm just gonna probably get picked up by a company and work there and make money and probably work in a cubicle. I don't know. We will see what happens. But as long as they pay me well, I won't care. And then I'll use that money to do other activities. Like I like acting. I go to auditions. I'm starting YouTube videos soon. I'm actually supposed to shoot some YouTube stuff tonight, so maybe I'll put some of that up. I like to do like little indie movies, so I want to do more like film stuff, and I feel like that's a pretty good side kind of hobby, other than the games and the magic and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, you could always open your own game store.
No, no, no. I don't want to compete with GameStop. That's a monster. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'd rather just get be part of someone else's company, but move up really high and just live comfortably without having to worry about going under in the business.
Yeah, that's fair. What? So for you, porn is just sort of a means to get someplace else in life, right?
Well, to be honest with you, once I finish school, if I can do porn and that, I'll still do porn because it is fun. And I'll have even more things I can do with the money I make from whatever job I get after I'm done school.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would like to continue it. If for some reason it wouldn't work out, then yeah, I guess you can consider it a means to an end, but it is something I enjoy doing. I don't plan on stopping for a while. I think it's safe to say even if I hit the lottery, I'd still do it just because it's so fun. It's just I would make all the scenes my way. Maybe I could start my own porn company and then
that would be nice.
Porn, yeah.
So imagine your own porn company. What would that be like?
It would be pretty awesome. It would have a variety of different genres, but a lot of TS stuff. Because I know a lot of the TS girls could use some more companies out there that use TS girls.
Yeah. Although there are a lot of companies, there could always be more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a good amount, but compared to like mainstream kind of straight porn, it's small in comparison. And I'd like to make it a little bigger. But that's what I would do. There would be more TS girl on TS girl stuff. There's not a lot of that because it's expensive, but I would like to see more of that.
Is that one of your favorite genres?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite genre, and most of the people I try to date are primarily trans women. I mean, I've dated guys and girls before, but if I had the option to, I always like the TS girls.
All right. So now that we're talking about, you know, things that you like, what turns you on?
I like when people kiss my neck.
Okay.
And right around my crotch, if people kiss that, it feels tingly and tickles, but it makes me turned on. I like getting rimmed. I don't know how graphic I can be on this.
You can be as graphic as you would like.
I'm not like too dirty, because like I mean some people might consider, oh, it's rimming, that's dirty. No, it's not, because I'm always clean.
If it's dirty, you're doing it wrong.
If it's dirty, then you're naughty. You should fix that. But like those three things turn me on. I like when people play with my breasts. You'd be surprised how many people have sex with me and they're like, oh my god, I'm having sex with a hot TS girl, and they completely ignore my boobs. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's part of the appeal.
Exactly. Like, what are you doing? Like.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, well, that's nice that you're paying attention to my nice butt and my stuff, but what about my boobs? You know,
yes, these are important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not decorations. They feel good when you poke them.
Yes. Poke them, lick them, suck them. Do what you do. Yeah.
Rub them. I mean, so I like when people play with my boobs. I also like long hair, like girls with long hair. That might not seem like a big deal, but girls with short hair, I'm a little less attracted to. If you have long hair, especially like long red hair, that's pretty hot.
So I'm curious about this. Would you mind telling us the story of like when you lost your virginity? Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I was pretty young. I was like 13-ish, and I was dating someone at the time. It was a girl at the time, and her name was Crystal, and you know, her grandfather. She lived with her grandparents, and her grandfather and grandma were away, and we went upstairs and experimented. It was great. I mean, it wasn't the best sex in the world because it was the first time, so it was kind of awkward. But
Yeah, but
now
the
I'm a
first
pro.
time, it's so exciting. You're so nervous.
Oh, when you first do it, yeah.
Yeah.
And just trying to do everything, and I know I'm a lot better at it now than I was back then.
Well, yeah, you've had so much more practice now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the
In fact,
benefit of sledding around. You become an expert.
yeah, I can actually teach people stuff now.
Exactly.
Like,
10,000 hours of sucking dick, and you can teach a master class.
yep, I can actually. I've actually been on set, and this guy that does like porn all the time, I was sucking his dick, and he's like, wow, I wish I could hire you as a fluffer. You're really good. Which was a good compliment coming from a guy who gets his dick sucked all the time.
Yeah, this is for a living.
Yeah, I know. And he's like, wow, you're really good. I'm like, thanks.
Thanks. Can I put that on my resume? Would you mind being a reference? I need that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if a college admissions exam would accept that as a like extracurricular.
Why do you want to be an? Why do you want to work at Google? Oh well, because I'm great at sucking dick.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, I might get the job.
So to finish up, you've done a lot in a short time. You're looking forward to doing more things and trying out to see what you can make of your life. What are some of your goals? What are you hoping to achieve?
I have pretty standard goals. I want the white picket fence dream. I want job security, a good job that pays well, that I don't have to worry about losing. I want a nice car. It doesn't have to be like a sports car or anything like that. It just has to be a nice car that runs well, gets me from A to B. And I'd rather have it have all the bells and whistles than like super speed or sleek looking. I also want a house. Doesn't have to be a big house unless I hit the lottery, then I'll probably get a big house. But if it's just me and one other person living there, like whoever I'm dating, or if I get married, I only need like a one-story, maybe like a kind of one-story, two-story house. And to get married, that would be nice too. Don't have to get married, but it would be nice to have someone with me all the time. And I mean, I could just have like a lifetime girlfriend or boyfriend, but you know, I kind of like the idea of getting married someday. So basically, wife or husband, car, house, and job security. And then the only other thing I want is enough money to just have a ton of fun. I want to travel. I want to buy more useless video games.
Useless? They're hardly useless.
Yeah, they're not useless, but I was rolling my eyes because people probably think they're useless. But I'd probably
forget them.
Game collection. It'd be awesome, and just live a happy life. That's my goal basically. Either that or win the lottery and then just do all of that minus the job.
Well, yeah, that would be ideal, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're going to leave it there. I did just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a blast talking to you.
It's been a lot of fun talking to you. Maybe we can do it again sometime.
We definitely should. All right. Now, before we go, make sure or tell everybody where they can find all your work, everything you do, all your tweets, all your Facebooks, all your Twitters, everything. Tell them where to go.
My Twitter, you can just search for Tiffany Starr XXX, or if that doesn't work, try TS Tiffany Starr. My Facebook, there's my fan page, which is Tiffany Starr XXX. You can just type in TS Tiffany Starr, and that should pop up on Facebook. I am actually going to start having a Twitch account, so you can come watch me do my live video games. I'll play video games live and talk about it while you watch me and critique me.
Awesome.
And I'm going to do my YouTube video soon. We don't have the link for that yet, but when I do, I'll give it to people. And the best place to see all my hottest material is TiffanyStarXXX.com. And there's 2 hours in Star, in case you were wondering. And I'm also on various other sites, but you'll really want to go to my site because most of my stuff is on there, and all my hottest stuff is on there. I just did like a threesome fairly recently that's really hot that's on there. So it's a lot of good reasons to join my site. It's cheap, And I do free cam shows every Wednesday that you can come and masturbate to.
Awesome. We love free cam shows.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
It was my pleasure. I had lots of fun.
It has been a complete blast. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'm still Jerome. Thank you for stopping by. Let's talk about sex. And as always, keep it sexy.
Bye.
Bye.